I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day. Everybody sour like a lemon tree. I'm just smiling down upon my enemies.
Do not own the rights to this
Do
music.
the shit and love it on a day.
This is tryeffect uncensored. You might hear some curse words. I'm going to try not to. This is not sanctioned by Jared Schroeder or the tryeffect movement. I must go ahead and make that disclaimer before I start talking. So what am I talking about? Well, first of all, I'd like to tell you that behind the scenes, it's, with Jared and I, it's not always giggles and laughs. Sometimes we get in heated arguments, believe it or not. And mostly about Androids versus iPhones, because I can't stand iPhones and I think they're pieces of crap. But if I offended you with that statement, you need to get your life in check. Okay, it's just a phone. So anyway, and just other little things that we disagree on. So he'll it's kind of funny when he's being good. It seems like I'm cursing and I'm doing things I'm not supposed to. And when I'm being good, he's cursing and doing things he ain't supposed to, right? So it's we kind of keep each other in check and keep each other accountable. And I guess that's what they talk about when they talk about iron sharpens iron. So yeah, two totally different characters. It's pretty funny how opposite and different we are, but yet we kind of come together and make good content, I guess. But I just gotta let y'all know, like, y'all think that maybe I'm working for Jared, or maybe Jared pays me for what I do, the website and the social media and all this and that, but he doesn't. It's completely voluntary. Now, why? Okay, so why would you volunteer your time to help him achieve his vision or his goals, right? Let me tell you, it's almost as if I'm eternally in debt to him. So what do I mean by that? There's this movie, actually it's originally a book by Alexander Dumas, entitled The Count of Monte Cristo. In the story, the main character, the protagonist, he escapes prison. He gets lost on shore, and he's walking down, and he sees this group of pirates on the beach. One of them's tied up, laying on his stomach, about to be executed by the other pirates. So when he comes across, they say, "Hey, you come over here." He comes over there. He doesn't really have much of a choice. Plus, he's hungry and thirsty, and these people have stuff, so he goes over there. And they say, "Look, we're about to kill this guy because he stole from us, but now that you magically kind of popped up out of the ocean, literally, because he was swimming through the ocean when he reached this beach to escape the prison that was on an island," they say, "We're going to have you two battle to the death, and whoever wins gets to work on the ship for us, for the pirates." He says, "Okay, I don't really have a choice here, so I'll do it." Well, he ends up winning, and instead of killing the guy, which he has the opportunity to kill the guy, who coincidentally is supposedly the best knife fighter they've ever seen, but while he was in prison, he was training. He was training to be a good swordsman. And he doesn't kill him. Long story short, he doesn't kill him, and the guy looks up at him and he says, "I will," basically along the lines of, I will forever be in your debt. You saved my life. I'm your man. Whatever you need, I got your back." So it's sort of like that, because I was kind of drifting I was very strong with God, or at least I thought I was. And I guess you could call this a testimony, so I guess it's Testimony Thursday. And it wasn't until Jared told me something about Jesus, so I decided to give it a try. Because I was kind of on the fence about the whole Jesus thing, right? So I decided to give it a try. And sure enough, that very same night, I had a spiritual experience which I will never, ever fully be able to describe to anyone. But what I will tell you is that I had a full-on, back and forth, question and answer, talking and listening conversation with Jesus Christ, or the Spirit of Jesus Christ, because I did not see him. I did not see him face to face, but he definitely spoke to me. I spoke to him. He spoke back. He answered my questions. And what he told me was that basically that it was his blood that wipes us clean, makes us brand new, or born again, as they say. And once I had confirmed that, now I was completely clean and sober when I was in this 2-hour-long prayer, I guess you would call it. 2 to 3 hours. I really don't know how long it went on for a long time. Still blows my mind. I still can't really wrap my head around it. The whole logical, rational, scientific part of my brain just shuts down all the way. I just can't explain it. Don't have any answers for you. How, when, where. I could tell you I was completely clean and sober, but I was literally higher than I had ever been in my entire life, if that makes any sense. This is what I guess you would call the good dope, or the God dope. The most amazing feeling, as if a weight had been lifted off my back. All the guilt, shame, and remorse that I was carrying around with me was completely gone. And I didn't have to carry that on my back anymore, knowing that I was already forgiven for that through the shedding of his blood. That's what blew my mind, because I literally asked the Spirit of Jesus Christ. I asked him if that was the case, basically. Lightning could have struck me in that very moment. The feeling that went up and down my spine was so powerful, as if to say a resounding yes. Basically, it is my blood that was shed on the cross that wipes the slate clean. And I had never received such a powerful affirmation in my entire life. So I became completely convinced. And the next day I felt so free, I can't even describe to you how wonderful and good I felt. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel this all the time, but I do have moments and instances where I feel it. And I don't know if I'll ever feel it as good as I felt it that day. I sure hope I do. If I'm not, it's probably because I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. But, because my God has always been a vengeful God. He will punish me for what I've done. But, the great judge, the all-powerful director of this play. And so things might happen that we think aren't so great, or this isn't that great, but it's what you make out of it, turning lemons into lemonade. For instance, today we discovered a hollowed out tree on the path, and it just looked like it was off the path, as if nobody had paid attention to it or noticed it, but I spotted it. I said, let's go over there, take a picture, It ended up being a really good picture. So the message is, take the hollowed out trees and make the most out of it. That hollowed out tree is just another brick laying in the path. So if we're building a foundation, if we're building a temple here on the earth and trying to spread the gospel to people so that they can feel as good as I felt that day and still feel today to some degree. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if I'll ever feel that good again. But then again, I haven't tried. I haven't attempted to make contact like that again, because if I could explain what it feels like to have a back and forth conversation with the creator of the universe, mind blowing. Mind blowing. I can tell you, as someone who has experimented with almost every drug you could name, psychedelics included, I've never, ever, ever in my life felt something like that. Something that, and the thing was, is it wasn't cloudy, it wasn't anything. It was just the most pure form of love and energy and vibrations that I could possibly imagine. I still can't describe it to you for real. That's how I can tell you how I did it. You can send me a message. I can tell you like exactly how I went about having this conversation, how I achieved that state of consciousness or whatever it was. I can tell you how. I won't go into great detail here, but I guess that's my testimony, man. And so ever since that next day, I basically told Jared, I'm just going to stand behind you on this 100%, because you led me to my salvation, basically, and so I am indebted to you. Now, if something good happens for me out of this, then great. If not, that's not what it's about. It's not about money. It's not about social media clout. It's about God, first and foremost, in everything. And making people more aware of Him and the power that He has if you're willing to receive it. And the blessings will come, but are you ready to receive them? It's very easy for us, especially if we have pride or ego, not to accept handouts. And I used to be that way. I never wanted anything for free from anybody because I felt like I would owe them for something later. However, when God brings you hollowed out trees, you don't reject them. You accept them, and you take them for what they are, and you accept them graciously, and the blessings will keep coming bigger and bigger every time. I mean, in this past 3 weeks since I've had this spiritual experience, where I went from angry, miserable, depressed in the past, to now where I'm happy, joyous, and free. I no longer live with the anger and the depression and the misery. I'm happy, joyous, and free, literally. And it's the most amazing thing. I just can't express how good a feeling it is to feel healed. To literally, that's what it felt like. If I had to describe that conversation with Jesus, it would be that I felt healed afterwards. I felt as if literally the slate had been wiped clean, and that I didn't have to live in that guilt, shame, and remorse anymore, that angry misery and depression. I put it all on Him and do what He tells me to do and obey His commandments, because believe me, He talks to me. Now, just because He talks to me doesn't mean I listen, right? Just because He tells me what to do doesn't mean I do it. Because at the end of the day, I have free will. You know, He gives us free will to choose whether to do His will or our will. And believe me, my self-will never got me very far. But ever since I've been doing things God's way, just all the pieces are just coming together like a jigsaw puzzle. It's just like everything. I would say it's magical. You would say it's crazy, but it's not crazy. You'd say it's odd, but it's not odd. It's God. And at the end of the day, I know it is. I know in my heart, because the coincidences are too, as someone who's played a lot of poker and games of chance and understands a bit about statistics and game theory, the chances of some of the things that have happened in my life, not just my entire life, but literally just in the past few weeks, is beyond mind-boggling. Beyond mind-boggling. So incomprehensible that I can't even express. Like, the odds are out of billions, you would think, for this thing to happen, that caused this thing to happen, that caused this thing to happen, that caused this thing to come together, right? There's power in that, because in God's infinite wisdom, he sees the bigger picture out of everything, and how he's the great director of this place, and he sees all the little things that happen, even the bad things, how it all comes together for your good. And that's one thing I've learned recently from Jared, as a matter of fact, that even the bad things come out to lead out to your greater good. And I believe that now. And so when the bad things happen, it's about how I choose to react to it. Do I look at it as a bad thing? Well, if I look at it as a bad thing, then I'm going to treat it like a bad thing, and then it's going to make me feel bad. And then I'm going to be angry or sad or depressed. But if I treat it as if it's something that will eventually one day benefit me, make me stronger or smarter or more loving or more helpful to the rest of humanity, then that's going to make me feel good about whatever quote unquote bad thing happened. You know, sometimes it storms and bad things happen, and that's just the nature of the universe. But it's what we make of it, you know. And I've seen many people that have turned their lives around and done great things. And they've done it different ways. But this is the way that works for me. And I would encourage anybody that hasn't tried it to try it. At least give it a try. Send me a message if you want to ask me how I did it. It's really pretty simple. I can't guarantee that you will have the same results as I did. I just know what results I had. But I went into it with an open mind, without any prejudgments or prejudices, with a completely open mind, and decided that I was going to step out on a limb and engage, throw a little faith into it, and try it. And it worked. And now I have a conscious contact with God. And conscious contact is because I choose to be conscious of his presence, and choose to be conscious of the things he's doing and the signs that appear. The signs that literally appear in the sky. Now, here's a great example. So, as Jared and I were taking a walk today on this hike to get some exercise and whatnot, we were talking about eagles and eagle vision, and looking at and building a temple, and a temple so high that when you look down upon it, just these grandiose visions and whatnot, right? And how anything's possible, right? Especially with God, anything is absolutely possible. And as not even a couple minutes later, there was this eagle in the sky, and it came down, and it got I'd say about 20 feet above the both of us, and circled both of us about 6 or 7 times, just like that. And it was looking at us. I could tell because it had its head down like this, and it was looking at us, and it circled around us like this. And we hadn't even been just talking about eagles and birds. Not even two minutes before that. And these little signs, these little things just keep happening in rapid succession. Just one after another, one after another, one after another. And that's, to me, that's God's way of telling me that you're on the right path, and you're doing the right thing, and you're doing what I want you to do, and you're obeying my commandments, and you're actually listening to me. You're choosing to listen to me, and these are the rewards that I'm laying out in your path. This is what you get when you obey my word and you do what I tell you to do. This is what happens. These are the good things that can happen to you if you just do what I tell you to do. It's as simple as that. And that realization, I mean, I'm salty in a way that it took me this long in my life to finally realize that it was just that simple, is to just listen and do what he tells me to do, and quit trying to do things my way, and quit trying to do things Chris's way. That these revelations have come, eye-opening revelations, to the power, and especially the power in the blood of Jesus Christ. There's a lot of power in that blood. I felt it myself. That's, again, this is just my testimony. Yours might be different. Your God might be different. Your relationship with Jesus might be different. I'm just sharing you how it went for me and what I've experienced so far. I'm extremely humbled today for all the blessings that have been bestowed upon me by the Lord of Lords, the host of hosts, the greatest name above all names, and the sheer magnitude of his grace and forgiveness, to forgive murderers, rapists, sinners of all kinds, especially one as me. I mean, I know I ain't no saint, but today I am a saint because I am sanctified. I have been anointed by the blood, and I am spreading the message in the gospel, and that's what warriors do. Okay, warriors don't sit on the sidelines and say, well, I'm not going to tell everybody my testimony because I don't want them to think that I'm some kind of freak or I'm crazy. Because I'm crazy because I had a spiritual experience. I'm crazy because I had an experience for the first time in my life that I've never had any other experience like that. I'd be more than happy to tell you about all my acid trips and shroom trips and mescaline trips and MDMA trips and all those other trips that I had under the influence of a chemical. I'd be more than happy to tell you about all that. But the one trip, the greatest trip that I've ever had in my entire life when I was clean and sober, nah, I don't want to tell anybody that because then they'll think I'm crazy. You see what I'm getting at? So, if I don't share it, then I might as well be a fake. I might as well be a fraud. I might as well just be out here just talking about it, but not living it, not doing it, and not being it. It's real easy to talk the talk, but to walk the walk, that's the hard part. Taking the action. I can hit you with pretty words all day, but unless I'm actually doing something to back up those words, faith without works is dead, yo. So, I don't know. I guess that's all I got for real. Today I'm blessed for real. It's a good day. It's a good life. It really is a good life. If I die tomorrow, I'll die a happy man. That's all I know. And a year ago, when I tried to take my own life, I was not a happy man. But if God was to strike me dead today, in 5 minutes after I post this video, I'd die a happy man because I know that I've been forgiven, that the slate is wiped clean, that I'm born again, that I'm brand new, that the blood of Jesus Christ has cleansed me and healed me and made me into a new creation. One 100%. That's all I got, y'all. God bless you. I hope you found what I found. I hope you can find what I found. I hope you find that hollowed out tree and make the most of it.